G'day and welcome back to 1001 Albums You Must Hear Before You Die. Today's album is actually one of my favourite albums that I've ever owned, is What's the Story, in brackets, Morning Glory by Oasis. Now, this was released in 1995. I bought this as a CD when it came out. And look, I'll be honest, I bought it because of Wonderwall. That's, I knew that song was a huge hit at the time. And I think from memory, I'm trying to think, the other song that I knew, of course, it was Don't Look Back in Anger. That had come out as well. And at the time, I remember all I knew was Oasis were mainly on it. They did have a band, but essentially the core of Oasis was known to be Noel and Liam Gallagher, the brothers. However, years later, I came to realise that really, although Liam is the singer, the core of the band is Noel Gallagher. And the reason I say that is that he's not just the songwriter, he's the one who creates the whole songs. Now, I knew this for so many reasons. The first thing that happened was in the late 90s that sort of started to cement this for me was a concert. Now, I remember reading about this from the perspective of Noel Gallagher, based on a real event that happened where Liam had lost his voice, and there was a concert, and Noel apparently comes out to the crowd and says and announces to them that Liam has lost his voice, and then there's not a word said. Apparently everyone was really dead quiet because they didn't know what was going to happen. Then he said, "Say something." Apparently this is what I remember reading this, and then Noel said, "Don't worry, I'm gonna do the singing," and which he did do. He went on and did the whole concert and sung the lead vocals. That's the first thing. Second thing is that this album was entirely written by him while they were touring and promoting their previous album. That's the other thing. And I've listened to an actual interview of Noel talking about the process and how he could hear the songs in his head, and he'd already decided what they were going to sound like. And he talked about like Champagne Supernova, which is, you'll see that's the last song on here, and going through and playing the guitar and to him, for everyone else, it was weird because they didn't know. It was this weird thing that he was playing chords, and it went on forever because it's quite a long song. And apparently they were questioning what the hell is this song, because they could just hear one instrument, but Noel could hear all these others in his head. And he's like, basically told him to shut up, something along those lines, because it's going to be awesome. Something. If you want to know the interview I'm talking about, actually, the most recent one was with That Pedal Show. I will put the link in here. He swears a lot. It's a funny interview. It's really interesting to hear what Noel has to say. I think that sort of covers a little bit about Oasis, that he's the core of the band, but Liam is a good singer and he does have his contribution to play. So the first song is Hello. It starts off quite interesting. You'll hear what I mean.
Cause the sun don't shine. Nobody
So I don't know if that hit you as hard as it hit me. I remember hearing this song for the first time, and it really kicked me in the face pretty hard. That's some big sounding guitars, but this is a really great lesson for people, right? I love a technical guitarist as much as anyone. I like playing technical solos. Not that good at it, but I like doing it. Noel Gallagher, he's the other end of that scale. He loves playing his open cowboy chords, and look, he talks to us as if he's just crap and he's nobody, but you hear the material, hear what he's made, and you just go, wow, so simple but so effective. And he's all playing open chords, and he's not using the best gear either. I mean, that amp's pretty kick-ass. He's using I think from what I remember, it was a 15 watt Vox amp into a Marshall cabinet, which is apparently not a very common combination, but that's what it sounds like. And the guitar he's using is not especially anything vintage. It's just a average kind of guitar. From memory, it was one of the Gibson 335s that weren't one of the great ones. He liked it because he's got little hands and a skinny neck for playability, not for tone, but that's the sound you got. So, yeah, just remember, that's the thing, chords, that's all chords we're listening to there. That's the thing that was driving that whole song, and I've only played a little bit of it, so I don't get stuck cracking on. We'll go on to Roll With It. And you see what I mean there? He's doing a little bit of soloing, nothing fancy. And guess what? It doesn't matter. So we'll move on to the legendary Wonderwall. Look, I'm calling it legendary, assuming you've already heard it. But we'll get into it anyway. From memory, this is played with a capo, whatever the pronunciation is. So if you are trying to play that song and you're not getting anywhere, that'll be why. But it's just very, very basic chords that he uses. And yet, listen to how good a song it is.
today is gonna be the day that they're gonna throw it back to you. By now you should have somehow realized what you gotta do. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. Backbeat, the word is on the street that the fire in your heart is out. I'm sure you've heard it all before, but you never really had a doubt. I don't believe that anybody feels the way I do about you now. And all the roads we have to walk are winding, and all the lights that lead us there are blinding. There are many things that I would like to say to you, but I don't know how. Because maybe you're gonna be the one that saves me. And after all, you're my wonderwall.
Still, that is like one of those songs that whenever it comes on, I'll happily listen to the whole song. And look how old it is. It's been around a long time. And just as I'm listening to it, I'm thinking, look, I don't really need to say much about this song. Nobody had to be told, hey, did you notice how this and this and this happened in this song back then? This song grabs people. It did back then, and I think it still does. The one thing that just struck me there, though, is how Liam, as he's singing, he's holding those notes without any vibrato and without quivering. That must have been, and he's holding them for a fair while as well. Don't know how many takes that took, but it does sound, it suits the song exceptionally well. So we'll look now. The next song, Don't Look Back in Anger. A lot of people do know this song, but if you're not in the know, if you've seen the music video, you might twig. But otherwise, you may not realise that this is the song that Noel sings. So the guitarist, everyone thought he was just the guitarist back then, or just doing a bit of backing vocals. But Noel is a really good singer. Him and Liam sound very, very similar. In all honesty, if you had to put them in a lineup and tell me when one was singing, one was the other was singing, I couldn't do it. But anyway, this is a pretty well-known song, but we've got to listen to it.
From my bed, 'cause you said the brains I had went to my head. Step outside, summertime's in bloom. Stand up beside the fireplace, take that look from off your face. You ain't ever gonna burn my heart out.
So we'll look now. The next song, Don't Look Back in Anger. A lot of people do know this song, but if you're not in the know, if you've seen the music video, you might twig. But otherwise, you may not realise that this is the song that Noel sings. So the guitarist, everyone thought he was just the guitarist back then, or just doing a bit of backing vocals. But Noel is a really good singer. Him and Liam sound very, very similar. In all honesty, if you had to put them in a lineup and tell me when one was singing, one was the other was singing, I couldn't do it. But anyway, this is a pretty well-known song, but we've got to listen to it.
From my bed, 'cause you said the brains I had went to my head. Step outside, summertime's in bloom. I stand up beside the fireplace, take that look from off your face. You ain't ever gonna burn my heart out.
Now, normally, as you probably see the pattern of how I break down songs, or, the way I present them, I don't play the whole song to everybody, especially when I know them well, like I know these songs. But I think the solo, I'll see if I can find the solo in this, because it is quite simple but very, very effective, where I think, especially a player like Noel, who's not regarded as being technical, but can put together a solo like this, and it just sounds great. And weirdly enough, apparently a lot of people have trouble playing it correctly. So, yeah, I think that's pretty well done. Let's move on to Hey Now.
Just as the sky turned black,
I think from memory, this song has a good solo in it as well. But I've given you a taste of what he's capable of. So if you haven't heard this album before, if this is some incentive for you to go and have a bit more of a listen. So I'll move on to what I recognise as the next song, right? Because I remember having this CD and I do not know Swamp Song. I know it looks like it's in my my list of songs and everything, but that's by accident, I promise you. So the next song, as I remember it being released, is Some Might Say. Look, I don't want to ruin the song. I really hate doing this, but just that tone is... Sorry, I'm just going to listen to that again. Listen to that tone. And when I say listen, it's nothing special. Like, really, it's someone who's got good tone in their hands, knows how to play a guitar loud. That's the thing about Noel. He knows and can handle playing a guitar loud and get this kind of sound. And it's not just as... It's not about having the best amp. He's got an amp that's great, that suits him for what he's trying to play. Just listen. For me, that was a very hard song to stop because I just want to, almost every one of these songs I just wanted to keep listening to and forget that I'm recording a video for you. Yeah, that is all kinds of awesome. And look, if you're starting out as on guitar and you're thinking about playing guitar, this should be inspiring to you that something like this can sound so good with basic chords and there's no pedals or anything. It's just guitar straight into an amp. And if you watch the interview that I'll put in the description, you'll see, Johnny Marr from the Smiths gave him a few guitars, but it's amazing to me, not him and other people that are really well-known guitarists that are not always using the top equipment that you might think that they are. So before I lose my mind, we'll go on to Cast No Shadow. I don't know about you. Look, I don't know if it's just because I remember listening to this all those years ago. There's some certain emotion that comes with these songs. I don't know. I don't know if you feel it. I remember the first time I heard this song in particular, and the lyrics and the way that it's sung, I think is quite special. And the next song is She's Electric.
She's in a family full of eccentrics. She's done things I've never expected, and I need more time. She's got a sister, and God only knows how I've missed her. And on the palm of her hand is a blister, and I need more time.
I think that's cool. It's just a different pace. You know how Wonderwall was sort of slowed down, and then Don't Look Back Anger was a bit heavier, a bit faster. Hey Now, some might say, and then Cast No Shadow was sort of a bit slower. Then this is like a really upbeat kind of happy sounding song. So the next song, Morning Glory, as you can see, is the title track. I did pick up from that interview that I will link in here that. Because there's this rhythm guitar part, but it's got this overdubbed lead guitar over the whole thing. And when again, you think you might listen to this and think it's pretty simple, but I've seen cover bands try it and just absolutely fail miserably. For me, I know how it's meant to sound, and it's really interesting hearing Noel Gallagher talk about this, that the lead bit you hear over that you might not recognise that's what it is, but this is part of the song that goes down, 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 like that. That's a guitar, and that's a Les Paul, but not a great one, just a crappy old 70s Les Paul, because 70s Les Pauls are generally crappy, just in case you didn't know, Gibson Les Pauls. That Johnny Marr from the Smiths, I think they were mates before or less, just lent him this guitar and said, "Oh, you can keep it." It's this funny whole story. But that's what he used for playing that part, apparently, and with all the rest of his other guitars. Yeah, I find this song is quite heavy for them. Like, they play heavier and lighter kind of songs. This is one of my favourite songs on the album as well. I think it's very well done. So have a listen and see what it takes a while to get going, so bear with it. It's got helicopter noises and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, that dan, 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 dan. Remember that's guitar, and he's like bending. Just even that bit, I hate to jump in, but the rhythm guitar part is the bit, for some reason, people just can't get that tone right. That down, 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 down. I don't know why, but that just goes to show you the brilliance of Noel Gallagher. He might be playing simple stuff, but doesn't mean that you can just pick up the guitar and replicate him so easily. Hopefully it's not discouraging. I was saying to people about learning guitar.
Need a little time to wake up. Need a little time to wake up, wake up. Need a little time to wake up. Need a little time to rest your mind. You know you should, so I guess you might as well. What's the story, morning glory?
And just that, the way he says that, what's the story? Like he's like really sounds like he's asking, what is the story? The next bit, I'm sound terrible doing that, sorry, but this next bit. Yep, I could listen to that all day. As you can probably tell, I let that one go way longer than I normally would. So we'll move on. Again, Swamp Song. I don't know what this is on here. It wasn't on the album I had back in the day. And Champagne Supernova. Now, interesting thing about this, I remember reading in the, the notes of because, when we used to buy CDs, there was a book that came out that tell you who played what. My recollection is that Champagne Supernova was played by someone else. When I looked it up on Wikipedia, it credited Paul Weller. So I don't know whether that doesn't ring a bell that was the person back then. But there's a guitar solo-y bit that goes out throughout the whole song, which is really well done, actually. Hopefully I have that right, that it is Paul Weller that plays it. As I said, I don't read that and go, oh yeah, I remember reading it back then. I just remember reading another name of someone else playing that part. But this is a song that does take quite a long time to get going, so I'll see whether I have to chop it up so it doesn't sound so boring to you guys.
Special people change. How many lives are living strange? Where were you while we were getting high? Slowly walking down the hall, faster than a cannonball. Where were you while we were getting high? Someday you will find me caught beneath the landslide in a champagne supernova in the sky. Someday you will find me caught beneath the landslide in a champagne supernova, a champagne supernova in the sky. Wake up the dawn and ask her why. A dream, she never dies. Why
before the soloing begins, I don't know if you noticed, but the song starts out, the verses are pretty much the same, the lyrics of the verses and the way it's played, but all of a sudden, the second time around is probably the easiest way of putting it, it's heavy. And so it's like built down here, boom, all of a sudden it gets heavy and kicks off, and then now there's this solo, which I was talking about before. So that's what I'm talking about. So the song's low, it's sort of calm, and then we were getting high. I'm sure you can say from that song takes a bit of a trip, and look, I think it's pretty well tastefully done. So there you have it. That is What's the Story? Morning Glory by Oasis. And if you looked at this as, oh, this is just the album with Wonderwall on it, hopefully you can see now, hopefully I have been able to demonstrate that it is much more than that. Hopefully it doesn't seem like I've contradicted myself, because I tried to encourage people, if you're a beginner guitarist, to listen to this and go, hey, listen, you don't need to be fancy. You can just play basic cowboy chords, open chords, which is what the majority of what you're hearing here is. You don't need fantastic, amazing equipment. I mean, yeah, he had a valve amp and everything, but he didn't have anything special. The guitar was nothing special. Trust me. Right. So there's something to be said for that. But then I go on to say about, I've heard cover bands try to play some of these songs and just not nail it. So I'm saying use this as an inspiration, but I'm not suggesting just because the chords are easy that anybody can go out and sound like Noel Gallagher. That, in case I made that not very clear, that's not what I was trying to say. Hope that makes sense. So I hope you enjoyed that. That was great for me. This is the only album so far that I've actually known the whole thing. Every album so far. So if you've watched any of the videos, pick any one you like. I have that day or the day before listened to that album on Spotify. I haven't listened to this for a couple of months. Since I saw that interview with Noel Gallagher, I straight away pulled this out and listened to it. It inspired me to listen to it again. I never learnt to play any of these songs, weirdly enough. And you know why? It wasn't because they were hard to play, honestly. I learnt to play Wonderwall, but everybody learnt to play Wonderwall. I never played that ever in front of anyone because it was so frowned upon. So I learned it just because I loved the song, but I never played it in front of anyone. And the rhythm guitar, none of that stuff, I could just never get the tone right. I could just never sound like him, So it's not, I'm not criticizing. I say people couldn't sound like Noel Gallagher. It's not because believe me, it wasn't because, hey, I nailed it and everyone else sucked at it. It's just, I'd probably have a much better chance now of doing that, because I don't know, I must have thought back then there was all these fantastic equipment that he had, or what I was hearing was a wall of amps on a massive stage, but it was just one amp, and it was only a 15-watt head that he was using. So it's very interesting to know. Lot to be said about what comes through your fingers when you play. So as always, hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.